So for the longest time, I knew at times what I wanted to be when I grew up. First, it was a cowboy, like Woody from Toy Story. Yeah, I know. Long time ago. And then the most strongest I felt about anything for the longest time was I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to fly. And I told my dad, and his response his response killed that dream. Because my dad is he's supportive in his own way, but the way that he is, the way he acts, the way he reacts, it's very frugal. It's very pessimistic, realism, that sort of thing. So I tell my dad, hey, I really like this. I really enjoy the concept of it. And his response was, that's a lot of money to do that. And I was too young to understand, like, once you have it, you can make bank. You'll find the right place. But yeah, so that was his first response, and it takes a lot of time to do that. It's essentially telling me it wasn't worth the investment. The money, the time, it was not worth it to be a pilot. And later on, I was thinking about joining the military and thought, okay, I'll do the Air Force. Yeah, I'll do the Air Force. I'll do that, I'll get the training, and I'll be a pilot just like I want to do. But what kept me from doing that, other than not really wanting to be a part of the military at all, the real cutting force for that was I wear glasses. I do not have perfect vision. So in the military, they look for any excuse not to use you. And I'm sure, like, if I had gone through this, that, or the other. But after having my dad say it wasn't even worth it to invest the time, the money, I just said I gave up that dream. The next dream that I had was acting. I went to a show at Prescott Center for the Arts back when it was called, what was it called? Prescott Fine Arts Association, years ago. I went and I saw Seussical the Musical with my parents, with my mother, and we watched that show. And immediately I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to go up on stage. I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor. It was a musical. I didn't think I want to be musical. I didn't think I want to be a singer. I didn't think that. I thought straight up, I want to be an actor. And my mom said, okay, figure out how to do it. Difference between my father and my mother there. One of the many. But my mother was like, figure out how to do it. And I went online. This is back in the times of dial-up. So, yeah, I went online, tried to figure it out, and that was kind of it. I learned, like, you get a manager, you do this, you do that, you take classes, you learn, you do, you experience, you just keep going and doing it. And that was kind of the end of it for a little bit. I really want to do this, and then nothing really happened because I was homeschooled. So there weren't educational opportunities like that. I couldn't go to the drama teacher and say, hey, I want to take your class, because we didn't have a drama teacher. And back then I really wasn't big on reading. I'm better now, but I really wasn't big on reading. So I I didn't go and find the proper stuff at the library. I mean, there are all sorts of opportunities I could have done. But I was living in Chino Valley back when nobody lived out there, out in the boondocks. Closest neighbor was 5-10 miles away, and I was a small kid, homeschooled. So I kind of died for a little bit. And then after our second house fire, my dad and mom decided we were going to move to Prescott, which is kind of the big town in the area, the central hub of existence. I mean, things have grown now. There's Prescott Valley's got a lot of stuff. Chino and Chino Valley have also. Anyway, they've all grown. But we moved to Prescott. My mother decided I was too hard to handle as a homeschool kid, so she sent me to Prescott High. And, well, first she sent me to Achieve Academy, and that was a hot mess. But I mean, I got my first taste of having fellow students, having teachers, this, that, whatever. And for the second semester, I actually had the opportunity to do a drama class. Kind of did, before I knew how anything worked. So I traded out my physical education for drama. So I did drama instead, which bit me in the butt later on. Being a senior, having to do a freshman PE class, that was an experience. But it started to rekindle things. Okay, I'll do this. I like this. I'm having fun. I can feel comfortable. The biggest reason for drama class for me was to get out of my shell. Being homeschooled for, at that point, 14 years, I had trouble, and I still do have trouble communicating with people, feeling close to people, connecting on a level other than we're just talking together, being able to feel comfortable in a conversation with somebody that I don't know. Very difficult for me. So I took that as an opportunity to learn to do that. And then for my sophomore year, that's when I moved to Prescott High School. It was closer. I was able to walk to school if need be. And oftentimes I did, because I didn't want to wake up at 6 a.m. Mornings are not my friend. And they were even less so then. But got into classes. I made sure that I had drama. I met the best drama teacher I've ever had, Louisa Nelson. Wheeze, we used to call her. And she was a hard ass, which I needed, and a lot of us needed. She really laid down the law and taught us these are the rules of a theater. And that's truthfully as far as it was going to go. I was just going to take classes, stay off of everybody's radar. I didn't make friends. It wasn't really that important to me. What was important was make it through the day and get all my assignments in on time. That was kind of it. And that's when my best friend in high school, she befriended me and said, hey, you're going to audition for this show with me. And I was like, okay, fine. Because I'm a bit of a sheep sometimes. We're doing this. Okay, fine, I'll do it. And I did it, and I got my first role, my first true role. I'd been introduced to music and stuff, and choirs and all that because of my sister. She had voice lessons since she was 14, and she'd been doing all sorts of stuff at Yavapai College at the time, and choirs and solo gigs and all sorts of stuff. She'd been doing all sorts of stuff, singing for churches, and so music was not foreign to me. It was just not something that I did. It wasn't a part of me, really, other than the occasional karaoke monstrosity. Anyway, I got this role, the first role I got to do. But the way that it happened is funny. I was the very last person to sing because it wasn't a traditional. Um, it was high school. You come in, you warm up, and they go down the line. Here, sing this bit. Here's the paperwork. Here, sing this bit. And I was the last person, and my dad was waiting for me outside of the theater. So I had to just like do it and book it. So I hit the high note and ran out the door. But I did. I got the part. I got a part. I didn't get the part I sang for, but I did get a part. And the choir director, who's also the music director for this musical, he looks at me, he says, "Why aren't you in my choirs?" And after that, I was in the show choir there, so I was dancing and singing and all that. I was in the advanced one before I was in any other ones. I mean, I was very blessed to do that. And after that, I was okay. I think I can do this. I can be an actor now. I can do this. So that dream actually came back to me, which is awesome, so cool. And then I came to Yavapai College, and I had known Yavapai College through my sister. She had done choirs and all sorts of stuff here. She learned so much. She graduated early. And because it was so close, I became known as, me. That's Misha's little brother. That's just a little brother, which was fine. I didn't mind it. I didn't care. But I did the first musical that was put on by Yavapai College. Now I've heard since that there have been other shows that were done like years and years ago, back when this was called the performing hall, not Performing Arts Center or anything like that. But I did that first one, Children of Eden, and it was absolutely horrible. It was terrible. It was the worst quality show I have ever been in, period. I mean, we were wearing scrubs, and there was scaffolding. I mean, to say it doesn't go into words how poorly it was executed. It really doesn't. I mean, the way I describe it, you're like, oh, you could make that work. Yeah, you absolutely could. They didn't, but you could. And I feel bad now. But after that show, I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to do musicals anymore. I thought, if this is the level of excellence, if this is the next level, and it's not even as good as the high school, I'm not doing it. That's short-sighted. I'm a slow learner. I mean, truthfully, you look at the situation, it was early in the development of musicals here at the college. That's the truth of it. If I had gone and done Prescott Center for the Arts stuff, or any of the other groups around town, then I probably would have kept on doing it and stuff. But I would have a different head than I have now. But yeah, so I gave up on that. I said, okay, no, I'm not doing it anymore, which is fine. And then through a series of events, my roommate said, hey, I'm auditioning for Disneyland. I'm going to audition to be characters, sculpted characters. And I need someone to drive with me because I'm going to be driving to California and help with costs, help with driving, this and that. I said, okay, yeah, I'm free that weekend. I can do that. And I auditioned with him, and we actually both auditioned, and we both got parts. We were both hired. It was awesome. We became friends with characters. It was amazing. So I did that for like 4 years. But all the while, I had one of my really sweet ladies. She was my voice teacher. My voice teacher, I talk to her every now and then, and she said, "Hey, they're doing this show. They're doing this show at the college, and I know the director. She's a real nice lady, and I've been talking to her about you, and she really wants to see you. She wants you to audition for this show. It was Beauty and the Beast, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, really, do another college show. I think I'm done with those. I'm not sure. And she said, well, here are the other plans that they want to do. They want to do, and I'm going through the plans. She says, they want to do Phantom of the Opera. And I'm like, oh, who the heck are they going to get to play Phantom of the Opera? Now, I hadn't been to the college for like 4 years, so I had no idea the development. No idea what they had gone through, how many things they had changed. But I came back and I auditioned, and even though nobody knew me, they let me be the Beast. I was generously offered the role of the Beast, which I gratefully accepted. And when I tell you that this was a completely different experience, a completely new experience, I'm not exaggerating. Now, was it like a perfect experience? No. We had a lot of issues, a lot of things that happened, drama. The drama department, the theater department, there's always somebody's upset for some reason. But this show was definitely stressful. But coming away from it, being able to look back, that was the proudest I'd ever been for one of my performances. And Louisa Nelson, my high school drama teacher, actually came and saw it. Because years ago, she had done Beauty and the Beast. And she came and saw it, and she saw me out front in costume saying hi to everybody, taking photos. And she says, where was that voice in high school? You've developed so much. And let me tell you, getting a compliment from Louisa Nelson, I was floored, because my memory of this wonderful woman was that of very strict rules. When we had done a couple scenes from The Crucible, and I had done a role in it. I came back after high school, and I saw her, and I just jokingly said, I see that such and such has my old role. And she looks at me, she says, your role? And I knew immediately, like, shut up. Dude, get your head out of your butt. You're not as cool as you think you are. That sort of thing. But seeing her again at this point, which was 5 or 6 years later, and she says, where was that beautiful voice? And I was floored. I was so happy with that. After that, I did take a little bit of a break. I had, my daughter had just been born. And there are, different educational things I had to get a hold of. And then the next one, I kept doing shows. I kept doing them. And then that rumor of the Phantom of the Opera came up. And I had flown under the radar again. I wasn't talking with people. I wasn't really a part of the performing arts department. I was just taking a class or two here and there. Working, for the most part, was my life. But I emailed the dean, Dr. Craig Ralston, and I said, hey, I heard this rumor. I know at that point it wasn't a rumor, but I said, hey, I heard that you're having auditions for the Phantom of the Opera, and is there any way that I can get some coaching, get some classes in before the audition? Because I don't care what I get. I just want to be a part of it. Phantom of the Opera was one of the inspiring shows that got me interested in musicals in general. Like, my dad would watch Singing in the Rain. which I didn't even realize was a musical. I just thought it was something my dad liked to watch. And then Danny Kaye in The Inspector General, um, as well as The Court Jester. We'd watch different operettas, um, like The Mikado, Gilbert and Sullivan, Pirates of Penzance, that sort of thing. But The Phantom of the Opera was the only musical that I knew. Some of these things that my dad would only watch the movie versions, like The Music Man. It was just the movie, or this or that. And some of these ones were, I was young enough that I would look at these and I'd see these old grainy images and I'd think, ugh, why would I want to watch that when I could watch cartoons? I was a kid. But Phantom of the Opera was different. This is the one with Gerard Butler, and he did well for what he did, and I do appreciate the significance of that film on my life. I look back at it and I'm like, he's not my favorite Phantom. He's not my favorite, but he did a really good job. But it was really important to me that I be a part of, in any capacity, the Phantom of the Opera. I could be like Joe Schmo chorus and I'd be fine. Well, I got some lessons and I did audition and I got the part of Phantom. It was yeah, out of the blue. I mean, obviously I worked on it and stuff, but I had put that I wanted Raoul. You put down crazy things that you want, not because you expect that you're going to get them, but because, it better to ask for it and be told no than to not ask for it, and then, the possibility of them saying yes is out the window. So I was like, hey, I want to do this. And from that point on, things changed. It was definitely one of the, if not the best shows, the most fun I ever had, the most intricate I got to have. The experience brought me to tears at times because, from an acting perspective, I was tapping into all sorts of trauma that I could use. And the connections, the trust, the friendships that were made between myself and the director, between the two Christines and the two Raouls and myself. It was so cool. It was amazing. And it was at that point, it was like, you know what, I want to do this. This is the job that I want. And I started, at that point, I made a bit of a change in my academics to make it a focus in fine arts, in performance. I've taken all sorts of dance classes and vocal training, and I've been in choirs and um, ballet, jazz, like just to suck in more, to learn more, and talking with the folks who work here and the folks who come around here, just to get information and be more. And ultimately, where it has brought me, where I am in my journey right now, working at the Performing Arts Center it is mind-blowing, the amount of things I didn't know. I'm learning so much more about what it is to be in a theater, past being an actor. Being an actor is its own animal. You're going from show to show to show, auditioning here and there and wherever. That is all its own animal. But the day-to-day operations of a theater, stupefying. I had no idea I would be able to go this direction, or even where I wanted to go. Because I've had jobs. I've worked fast food. I've worked theme parks. I've worked in customer service. I've worked in an auto department, in groceries, in stocking. I've done all sorts of things, but they never really clicked. After about a year, I'd go, I'm either bored or I feel disrespected and I want to leave. This one, there's no shortage of activities to keep me busy. And we have a team, though not without its issues and problems. We're a family, and families squabble. This is the most work I've ever had to do. Lots of responsibilities, lots of moving parts. And it's amazing to think that what sent me in this direction was seeing Seussical the musical, like, I want to say 18, 20 years ago, at the Prescott Center for the Arts, or Prescott Fine Arts Association as it was. And my wife and I were talking about all sorts of directions that we want to go, things we want to see, things we want to be and do with our kids. I mean, I am so excited, so proud to be where I am, to have the team around me that I get to work with every day. It's just so amazing. And I'm blessed because not everybody finds a nice little niche that they can call home, that they can call